Hello, this is Blue Star, defender of Equestria, and this is my AfterThoughts review to HorsePlay. And yes, Celestia finally got an episode where she's just allowed to be a pony, and it was just so awesome. It also goes to show that Celestia is not afraid to prance. She's not afraid to prance. I love it! I love it! I love it! I think that's just great. It's like, yeah, the opening scene was just great. I mean, it was really surprising, but it's just so great seeing Celestia be happy, because she's had so few opportunities to be happy, and in some ways even fewer opportunities to show that she's just a pony like every pony else, that she has feelings and stuff, and that she's not perfect. This episode almost takes on all the criticism that people have had about Celestia for a long time. Oh, she's perfect. Oh, she's blah, 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 blah. She's all this and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, she's not perfect. She can't do everything. But I think that's a good thing, because, you know, it does show that she's just a pony like every pony else. She just happens to be a princess. But I really did enjoy this episode a lot, because it was cool to see this side of Celestia that we really haven't had the opportunity to get to see a lot, where, you know, it's like she's not just, I am a princess, I have to be perfect and strong all the time. It's like, no, I want to be part of a play, because I didn't get to have the opportunity to be part of the play before. I really want to be part of it now. Although it was painful to watch Celestia act badly. This must have been horrible for Nicole Oliver. It's like, you want me to act badly? I've spent all this time trying to perfect acting, and now you want me to act badly? No! At the same time, it might have been fun. I don't know. It's like, I'm not a voice actor, so I wouldn't know. It's kind of surprising that Celestia can't act, but I guess public speaking is different than actually acting. It's like, I'm also surprised that Celestia has like no imagination. The Ponyville Express is leaving the station! Woohoo! It's like, it is? Oh. Didn't you pretend to be stuff when you were a kid, Celestia? I mean, I'm kind of surprised by that, but oh well. And it was a good point that Dr. Wolf made, that usually it's like, oh, you want me to be the lead actress? Sure, I can totally do that. Celestia says, no, I have no acting experience. Are you sure that's a good idea? This is pretty much the opposite of that character from, what was it, Movie Magic and Mirror Magic, where it's like, she thinks she can take on this lead role, which, A, she's like half the age, and more importantly, she has no acting experience at all. You think they're gonna cast you for this role? Are you kidding me? So again, it was actually kind of nice. I mean, again, it caught me off guard at first. It's like, everybody's like, what? But it's like, yeah, it's true that Celestia doesn't know how to act. But then again, neither do any of the kids in the play, so... And regarding Twilight, it was really surprising that she basically ignores what Applejack is telling her, even though Applejack says to her like 100 times, like, no, you gotta be honest with Celestia. It does seem really strange that she doesn't listen to Applejack. I mean, they've been through so much, they've learned so many lessons, and Applejack says it to her like a dozen times, and she just flat ignores it. It actually reminds me of something that the creator of Babylon 5 said, is that we often ignore the best advice that we're given. All I'm going to say is the characters in the show are repeatedly told something and they ignore it. Because, whoa, I think it would be okay if I do this instead. Well, no, you should have listened to that advice. It would be one of those things of, A, there'd be no story if she did that, and B, it also shows that the conflict that Twilight is in, is that she really, really wants this to work because she loves Celestia and she wants to do something nice for her, because Celestia has done all these awesome things for Twilight and the ponies in general. Just once I want to do something nice for her. So she's determined to make it work, but she can't. As we kind of knew was going to happen. And yeah, it's kind of bad when things are predictable, but it's pretty much predictable because I've seen episodes like this a dozen times. I know what's going to happen before it does. I know I'm watching a children's show. I kind of know what I'm in for and stuff, so I don't really think that's a big problem. But still, I really liked that scene with Twilight and Celestia. This was, I think, one of the few times Celestia and Twilight have had the opportunity to have a true heart-to-heart. I mean, it was kind of hard. It wasn't a nice heart-to-heart. But it was one of the few times where they've actually really gotten to the heart of something and been just like almost like a mother and daughter situation. This is one of the few times where Celestia and Twilight just talk about how they feel, and it was kind of hard to watch Celestia be all upset and everything, but Celestia has every reason to be upset because I thought I taught you better than this, Twilight, and I really like that. That's why she's upset. Again, because Celestia is an adult, she's mature, she's very wise, she's not going to be upset that she's a bad actress. She's upset because Twilight Twilight basically, in a way, ignored everything that Celestia has tried to teach her. And that makes her very disappointed in Twilight, but fortunately Twilight makes up for it in the end by telling her the truth. It was kind of hard, but it was also really nice. Yay! And I did kind of enjoy watching Twilight freak out a little bit. It's like, do I even want to know? Oh, poor Twilight. I don't think it went too far. It was just the right amount of mania or whatever. And fortunately, there were always these little things in the background or the foreground or whatever to bring us back up from being down and stuff. And it works out in the end. So, yay. Some things that were kind of problematic with this episode. What? You're gonna send Spike out to deal with the audience? That is really mean. Why, Maid 6? Why? That was terrible. Don't worry, Spike. I will save you. Another thing that I kind of was surprised about, that Luna is laughing along with the hecklers. It's like, Luna, don't laugh. It's not very nice. Yeah, the hecklers were mean. Don't they realize that they're watching a show put on by a bunch of kids? I had a thought. It reminds me of a certain group of adults that often are overly critical of a show written for children. You know I've been guilty of that, and I think probably everybody has at some point, so... Nah. This isn't a Broadway-level production. It's being put on by a bunch of kids, so what were you expecting? So that was really mean, but oh well. Hecklers are gonna heckle, what else are you gonna do? So improvise and heckle back! The first time I watched this, I didn't notice Luna going, because I'm a reactor and often I can't notice everything that's going on. And I didn't notice this mainly because Celestia just raised the sun to support a kids play? Didn't Celestia and Luna criticize Twilight for suggesting kind of the same thing during the MLP movie? In fact, this is why I think Luna is going, is because she was the one that brought up that point to Twilight. So wait, you want us to move the sun and the moon for the party? Honestly goes into a little bit of abuse of power, because I can see some ponies being like, hey, it's 9 o'clock at night, why is the sun coming up? What gives? Celestia might be able to get away with this on a few counts. That A, this was in desperation. It's like, yeah, if somebody pony had come up with, oh, wait, I know, let's do this instead, she probably wouldn't have done that. I think the other is that because this is, in fact, for a celebration of one of her anniversaries, that she could say, well, it was for the honor of me raising the sun 1,111 years ago, so it kind of gets a little iffy, but I think in the end it's not that big of a deal. It'll be okay, and I'm pretty sure it was only for a moment, so it'll be okay. When Celestia was telling Fluttershy how to visualize, essentially how to be her, I thought this was actually pretty cool. This is Celestia telling another pony how to be Celestia! My gosh, that's awesome, that's so great! This is almost when Celestia needs motivation, this is what she thinks and feels. I think that really reveals about what makes Celestia tick. I mean, that she's a princess, she's regal, she has authority, she feels the warmth of the sun, and that, most of all, Equestria needs her. Long story short, I identify with that, because it's like, what would motivate Bluestar to do something like charge back into the middle of occupied Canterlot during the MLP movie? It would be, Equestria needs you. I think, in short, a lot of parents could probably identify with that too, because their children need them. And it was pretty cool that of all the ponies that Celestia could have picked, she picked Fluttershy to do this. I almost think that it kind of ties back into testing 1, 2, 3, where Fluttershy was actually playing Celestia. I really can't put my finger on why, but somehow I do feel that Fluttershy is the right pony to play Celestia. I really don't know why, but I think that it was cool that in the end she was able to, so, yo! And again, it was also kind of cool that Fluttershy just wasn't, okay, I'll play Celestia. She's more like, what? You want me to play you in front of all these ponies? The stage fright came back, and again, I like this because it shows that there was no magic switch that you just flip and poof, my stage fright is gone, it's over, yay, I can go out and perform on the middle of Broadway, not a problem! No, it's always a struggle, and that there's always those moments where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified, I can't go on stage, help me! But the important part was that, with a little bit of Celestia's help, she was able to overcome it and went out on stage and was able to perform her role, and the show went on! Yo! And another thing I liked, it was almost a sub-point that you don't have to be the lead actor to have a fulfilling role in a production. because it's not just about the actors, it's about the stage crew, the director, all the people behind the scenes that you never see. Unless the actors want to move all the scenery and operate all the equipment themselves, they need the stage crew in order to put on a production. And I kind of like the fact that Celestia is not like, oh, I want to be the lead role, or I want to be an actress. It's like, no, I just want to be a part of the play. I just want to be part of the team. And I think that's great. Yo! The same thing kind of goes for the military. There's a lot of roles that you never see that are just as important as the guys putting rounds down range. Like with the fighter pilots, it's like, you're not going anywhere without your flight crew. Or if the mechanic didn't do their job right and your engine flames out in the middle of enemy territory, you're in for a very bad day. So you better hope that that mechanic did his job. There was a moment kind of like this in Ace Combat 5 where it's like the pilot's about to take off. Engine sounds good. Thank you, mechanics. I liked that. I think that was getting a little bit of a nod to those people that you would normally not see in a video game, but in a lot of ways are just as important as those pilots, because again, without the mechanics and the people who maintain those aircraft, those planes aren't leaving the hangar, much less going into combat. So I kind of liked that sub-point a little bit, that even though Celestia is not an actress, she is just as important, if not more important in some ways, than those actors, because without her, this play would not have happened. And so I think that was good. Yo! And again, a little bit of that backstory from the Journal of the Two Sisters was inserted into the show, and I think for the most part confirms that what's in the Journal of the Two Sisters is actually canon. Perhaps not the entirety of it, but at least the majority of that is actually canon within the show. It's been a while since I've read that book, but there were some interesting things. Like, if you want to know more, go read the Journal of the Two Sisters. It was pretty good, so, yo! So overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun, it was cool, and we got to see Celestia and as her true self rather than just Princess Celestia of Equestria. And while it was a little stressed, it was still a really good episode. It never got too depressing or anything like that. It was just the right amount of mania and comedy and everything to make things balance out in the end, and it was just so nice to see Celestia just be Celestia and to be allowed to do something as simple as just participate in the play. I thought it was great and I loved it. Yo! And again to Team MLP, I say thank you for finally letting Celestia just be Celestia. Yo! So that is the end of my Afterthoughts review of HorsePlay. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.